Back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. We are pleased to be joined by Aiden Smith, of course, a state championship wrestler in D1 in the 135 weight class. And of course, Livingston County Wrestler of the Year, according to the Livingston Daily. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. I've never done a podcast before, so it's pretty new. It's exciting, and it's kind of cool that like my accomplishments have been recognized, and people see that, and I get to get interviewed and be on a podcast. So it's just really cool. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, for sure. So what has life been like since wrestling season been over? Of course, winning a state title. In your weight class, you had to take down a lot of, people to do it. Literally. How about what is the season been? What was the season been like?
Last season was a roller coaster, I'd say. There was a lot of ups and downs, but I always knew going from the beginning of the year, like I wanted to be a state champion. Like that was my only goal all year. Like it was rough. We had some team problems, and I had to deal with stuff like individually, like me as like a wrestler, and like just like growing up a little bit with like cutting weight and stuff. There was times I didn't want to do it. There was times where I like asked my coach to like go bump up a weight class because I was cutting a little bit. But I'm glad he was hard on me and made me do it, because I think that if he wasn't hard on me, or like no one was hard on me throughout the year, I wouldn't have won it. But I'm glad they were hard on me, and the season ended up the way I wanted it. So overall, I'm grateful for last season, although it was up and down. But yeah, it was a good season. It was a great way to end it my senior year.
Yeah. I mean, you accomplished something that you've always wanted to do, probably since you were a little kid. You always wanted to be a state champion, and now you are. The feeling has it hit you yet that I know it's been a few weeks since you got that moment, but do you ever still think about that?
Oh, I don't think there's a day that goes by that I don't that day doesn't go by my head. I think about it all the time. And sometimes I wish I could go back and relive it, because I'd say that this is probably like one of the happiest times in my life. And yeah, I think about it all the time. Like sometimes I'll just be laying in bed at night and I'll just go on my phone and flip on my matches and rewatch them. Like I do it all the time. I'll be in school. We'll have free time, go on my phone, watch my matches.
Nice.
It's just like really cool to see that like all that hard work paid off.
Yeah.
And see it in live action. And I look back at pictures all the time, and I go through the articles of like Livingston Daily and stuff, and all these articles and like people congratulating me. It's just like I want to like go back and like relive it sometimes.
Yeah, it's I bet it's an accomplishment for you, but it truly is to accomplish something. Did you think that with everything that's gone on this past year, and then your wrestling seasons have kind of it's kind of been up and down, but the last few years, to get through to get through all the seasons that you've had, to come across this, it's probably been like a journey that finally got to the finish line. It had to be like most satisfying. What was like I know winning the state title was awesome, but what's another best moment that you had?
Like throughout my high school career?
Yeah.
Well, I'd say my freshman year as a whole, I'd say, and I'll go into that a little deeper. I came into Brighton my freshman year wanting more for wrestling.
Yeah.
In my academics. I came from Whitmore Lake.
Okay.
So I came into Brighton just like excited to wrestle, but actually one of my now best friends, he also wrestled. He's a freshman, Quaylen. Um, we butt heads a little bit. We were both 103s. We were both like on the same skill level.
Yeah.
And we had a little beef per se. We'd wrestle off and all the time, trying to get that starting 103 spot. And luckily, like 112 was open too, but neither of us wanted to bump up because we were both little tiny 103 pounders. But that year like taught me a lot of things, taught me how to be a man and deal with things the way they are, whether they're bad or good. And I also gained one of my best friends from it. Like I think that year, although we clashed a little bit, it brought us closer as friends. And yeah, and then my freshman year, I'm just really grateful because like the people on the team made me into the man I am today, part like bits and pieces of it. And yeah, my freshman year as a whole, I'd say.
Yeah. So since you've won the state title, what have you done?
So I took a couple weeks off the mat.
Well, that's what typically everybody usually does after.
Yeah. I finally started getting back into freestyle Greco practices like a week ago.
Yeah.
But I've been in the weight room a lot, 5 days a week with my buddies, and we're just been lifting. I'm actually having a lot of fun doing it. I'm enjoying it a lot. Just been in the weight room 24/7. I've been watching a lot of soccer recently. My girlfriend plays soccer.
Nice.
And I've actually began to like starting to like soccer, which is weird. You'd think wrestlers have no like hand foot coordination, but I'm actually starting to enjoy a little bit of soccer myself. I've just having a lot of time to myself because I didn't get a lot of time to just like to myself like during wrestling season. So I've been enjoying just spending time with like my loved ones because wrestling season is a long season. It's a brutal season. And there was times where I wasn't myself, but I'm glad to like just sit back and relax and not have to worry about cutting weight and just be myself.
So what does the season do to like someone that's, because you're not just, trying to go through a season as well as trying to be a successful student as well, and to get to that next level and get to college and have a successful career outside of college. Well, how much stress does that put on you, bud?
It brings a lot of stress because you want to balance school, but you also need to focus at the task at hand, which is wrestling and cutting weight. But like you also want to be like a good like family member and friend, but like cutting weight does take a big toll on the whole year. Like if you're cutting a lot of weight, it will ruin you. That's why I'm grateful that I had the coaches that I had and the parents that I do. Yeah. And like the support system I had, because if I didn't, it'd be a really tough season. Even tougher than it already was. And yeah, it's very stressful balancing school and wrestling and being able to get free time from that too, because you don't get much free time during wrestling season.
Right. I mean, at any point, even during the wrestling season, you got to have some free time for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
So I kind of want to pivot back to something you said about soccer. Do you think you might get into like the Premier League and all them, the different leagues or something?
Yeah. No, I'm just playing, like I just enjoy playing it for fun and screwing around, and I like going to watch the games, and and I just been like screwing around in the yard with my girlfriend and
Nice.
been playing in the yard with my brother too. But yeah, it's a weird like hobby that I've picked up on, which I never thought I was going to, but I do enjoy it.
Okay, so you were also named I think earlier this week or last week you were named Livingston County Wrestler of the Year for 2021-2022. And we were talking before we hit record, and you said that came as a surprise to you.
Yeah, like I I never I didn't know they came out with that. So when I realized like I found out that like I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like I'm glad that like my hard work and dedication like is seen by others. But yeah, I didn't know they had it. So I was totally caught off guard. I was called, I got a phone call on spring break. And I found out down there. So I thought it was just really cool. And I also know that there's great wrestlers in Livingston County.
Yeah.
It's like one of the best counties for wrestling in Michigan. We got Harlan, Howell, Brighton, and Pinckney, I think.
Well,
And yeah, it came to a surprise because I just know that there's also a whole bunch of other really good wrestlers.
yeah, for sure. So now that your kind of high school career has been, it's over. What's next?
I'm honestly trying to figure that out as we speak. Like the last couple of days, I'm talking to colleges and figuring things out and dates, and I'm going up on a visit to Central soon, so I'm excited for that. I do want to wrestle in college because I was in the air a little bit during wrestling season.
Yeah.
Like, do I want to wrestle in college? Do I not? Do I just want to focus on school? But after winning states, I like realized to myself, I was like, I don't think I'm done with this sport yet. Like I think I put in too much time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears just to call it quits right now after I win a state title.
Yeah.
Like I want to carry my success and learn and get better at the next level.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, just what's the biggest thing that what's the biggest thing you learned this past season?
I'd say I know wrestling's like a very disciplined sport, but like I also like I learned to like I'd say balance.
Yeah.
So I had to balance cutting weight, my family, school, and I was having a really tough time with it. And I'm really lucky I have the coach that I do and the support system that I have, because if it weren't for him, Sean, I think it would be a really tough season. He not only was a coach for me, he was a mentor. He helped me balance, and when I didn't want to cut weight, he made me, which I was upset with him at the time, but I knew like after I weighed, I was like, oh, I'm glad he made me make weight. It's just like the little things that like sometimes you just need a little push to go in the right direction. And I think he was that push, and I started to learn balance from him and being able to like, sometimes you just got to push through it and balance everything.
All right. Well, Aiden Smith, thank you so much for coming on and spending some time with us. And on behalf of everybody, and also on behalf of the Brighton Alumni Association, congratulations on all your accomplishments at Brighton.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.